So can you kind of speak to what the song selection process has been on the show? Because every song selection has been on point.
Thank you.
And as a music guy, that hits me hard. That's what got me into the show.
Thank you.
So,
what you're hearing is what I listen to. You know what I mean? I think that I love music. My mother was a singer, and she made records. My son is a rapper, God Holly, and he makes music for the show. You know, he did the title sequence.
okay.
He was in episode 9.
Yeah, he was
He's in episode 9 performing and was driving the car. So we come from an artistic family, an artistic background. So the music that you hear is the music that I listen to, and then I have a wonderful music supervisor who's been working with me for years, Keir Lehman, and he knows my taste. So we just try to always do something for the culture. You know what I mean? It's connecting in a different way. Music is magical, and it can give you emotions that maybe visually you can't get right away. And so I love balancing that out. You know, it's like alchemy that I love. Thank you.
I had a question about Gaby and Jefferson's relationship. They harp a lot about how it's a very father-son relationship, except that from Gaby's side, I see it. From Jefferson's side, I don't speak to my father like that. So I was kind of wondering, how true is that, and how are you writing to it from that perspective?
Well, what's funny is, and you guys will understand this culturally, Gaby's a white man.
Yeah.
And white people raise their children differently than we raise our children.
Okay.
So the things that he wouldn't say to Alvin, his father, he probably was allowed to say to Gaby. And also Gaby felt a lot of guilt.
Right.
So
And
I'm
he let
sure
him get
he
it.
was a lot easier on him as well. But what I love about that relationship is that you're watching a relationship, and you're watching a man who was raised by a white man. And so if you watch Jefferson, there are some traits that he has, a lot like Gaby's. And one, I'll give you one. Jefferson is very reserved, like Gaby, until he gets into the suit. And if you notice, when he gets into the suit,
all bets are off.
he starts talking, a little loose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we did that on purpose.
Nice.
I have to say, the family dynamic with Jefferson and his daughters, and even his wife, is I feel like that is surgically made. I feel like there's a lot of people involved talking about how their family dynamic is, because it's very important to the show. How much of your own personal family life and possibly other producers and writers are put into the Jefferson family?
Well, artists always pull from their, what their experiences are from their soul. So what you see is a sort of an amalgamation of all of us. You know what I mean? Charles Holland and Pat Charles, they have daughters. You know what I mean? I have a daughter. I have 3 sons. So we all sort of talk and argue and sort of make sure that the people watching sort of can relate to what they're seeing. If you have children, hopefully you see moments in the show that sort of remind you of your own experience with your children, or at least your own experience with your parents. So for instance, I think this episode is aired where Jennifer is at the refrigerator and she's getting ready. Her mom says hello and she goes upstairs, and her mom says, and she rolls her eyes, and her mom says, "Oh, wait a minute, young lady. No, we don't do that. I don't know where your friends are doing, but we don't do it in our house, right?" So I've been talked to like that, and he certainly has too, as an assistant.
But the dynamic, I think, with Lynn and the rest of the family is really interesting, especially these last couple episodes, and where, and she now knows she's kind of the odd duckling out here. What are you doing in the next couple episodes to continue further investigating and kind of her feelings, where she fits in, how she feels she can still contribute and be a part of it and not feel isolated?
Yeah, we always said, especially my wife Mara always said, that Lynn's superpower is love. And I think what you'll continue to see is her try to navigate her daughters now having powers. I think she's going to be less concerned about Jefferson. I made the analogy earlier that it's like watching your kids decide to become police officers, or watching your daughters decide to go into the military, and there's a war going on. You know, it's something noble about it, but there's a hell of a lot of fear involved. And I think that that's what she's going to have to deal with, you know, and she's going to have to decide how she wants to participate, because she has to participate in some shape, form, or fashion. And I don't think we can keep having her just be a resistor. But 11 and 12 and 13 is a mother.
I like that one.
Yeah. But you can't say that.
I just gotta ask, how much fun are you having on this show? It looks like y'all are having just such a great time making this.
We're having a ball, man. I mean, this is a blessing. You know, I can remember living in the projects, and at 4, this is all I ever wanted to do. I never wanted to do anything else. And I was just hiking the other day, and I was thanking Allah, because I was like, you know, you put this in me, and you said believe. And at every step, when my mother went to prison, when I was living in my car, when, you know, I first started writing the pilot, you know, the biggest thing that kept me going was belief, you know. And so to be able to do it is amazing. It's like you're looking at a walking miracle. And I try to accept it like that, and accept it as a blessing, so that I never forget what I have in my hands. You know what I mean?
I have one question that I want to ask. Do you believe in resurrection?
Yes, I do. I do, because I've seen it. I know it. So it's real.
I believe it.
But it's a personal resurrection. It's a personal resurrection, and so it only matters in your life. You can't look for it outside of you. It's inside of you, right? All right.